Zaru Games can do this because they're the ones who actually helped High Impact Games with Secret Agent Clank. So who knows? Probably they will be remade, but they better not put the remake for the parts of the PS2 ports, but because those were rushed, and that would actually make it sucky. Now we're done with the spin-off era. Let's go to the future era, aka the best era ever. And my God, these series are incredibly amazing. And the first one started Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction. Oh man, this game is badass. It's so awesome. I mean, like, seriously, Insomniac, this is one of the best Ratchet and Clank games you ever made since Up Your Arsenal. This game is incredibly awesome. I mean, like, the story is great, the characters are likable, and, the graphics are incredible, especially when you're playing on an HD TV. This game is great. I really love this game, and, I really love, this, because of this game, I became a Ratchet and Clank fan even more. I mean, like, seriously. Now, the game takes place, probably several years after the events of Secret Agent Clank, because, Ratchet do look older in this game, and Clank as well. Well, I know robots cannot get older, but maybe it's something about it. And even Captain Quark is taller in this game. He doesn't have his, his butt chin is a little disappeared. But anyways, the story in this game is about, Ratchet and Clank was on planet Metropolis, and it's beautiful. And they wanted to search for Captain Quark. He asked for help for Ratchet and Clank. And then suddenly they came across this little guy named Tachyon, aka the main villain of Tool Destruction. He talked about the race about the Lombaxes, and Ratchet was a little surprised by that. Later on in the game, they find a search about the Lombaxes, and Ratchet visits on planet Fastoon, the home of the Lombaxes. He wondered what happened there, why there aren't any Lombaxes, and why the whole place was destroyed. Later on in the game, Clank came across these creatures named the Zonies, and they asked him for call him a sire, and Clank was a little confused by that. And Clank told Ratchet about the Zonies, but he doesn't believe. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second game in the series that Ratchet and Clank are fighting each other. Well, in this game, Ratchet is not as selfish as he was in the first game, but he doesn't believe Clank, and his thing, what Clank is talking about is just bullcrap. Ratchet doesn't believe. Those two are kind of fighting like in the first game, but instead, Ratchet is not as selfish as he is. So yeah, he's still himself, but he still doesn't believe. And this game debuts the characters Krunk and Zephyr and Tailwind, and those are the main protagonists of the future series. Well, they are, and I'm probably sure there will be in more games, but anyways, this game story is amazing. I really love it, And later on in the game, they find out the secrets, what Tachyon is doing, what he's going to do with the world, and, he wants to destroy everybody. He wants to destroy everything about the Lombaxes and stuff. Later on in the game, they finally come across Tachyon and decide to fight him. And, they have no choice, but, he is doing more evil plots with this Doom Divisor thing. I don't know what it's called, but they trying to stop Tachyon once and for all, and he was crushed in the mountains. I mean, the asteroid. Well, you know what? You might be surprised by this, but in the Ratchet and Clank comics, you see that Tachyon is alive, so chances are he will be in future games, so yeah, we don't know yet. The gameplay and tool instruction is the same as the classics, but only this time this game has lots of amazing weapons, and there's a few different gimmicks, like, you have the flying copter that actually can lift some objects, and you have this flying thing from going commando. Now it's actually on Clank's back instead of just in forward. And you know what? From what I've heard, people said that the flying thing in Tool Destruction is less frustrating than the one from going commando, so glad to hear that. And you can still go underwater, you can still have the jetpacks, and you still have the, what it's called, the charge boots and other classic things, classic gadgets from the past games. The exploration in Tool Destruction is more wider, open space than the ones in the three classics. And the levels themselves look incredibly amazing. The gladiator battles are fun, the nanotech system is still here, and overall an amazing title, and it deserves the best of PlayStation 3. Yep, one of my personal favorite Ratchet and Clank games ever made, and it's my Insomniac games themselves, so I love it. So, future era, Ratchet and Clank, future quest for booty. Okay, so you're probably thinking, why does it says and Clank? Clank is nowhere playable. He only makes cameos, just like in Ratchet Deadlock. Okay, I'm kind of disappointed that Clank isn't like playable in this game, but if they said like Ratchet's future quest for booty, I mean like this is a part of the future trilogy, and that will kind of messed up the titles. So yeah, I think that's why they just put Clank there. And you're probably wondering, hey, isn't this a downloadable title? Yes, it is a downloadable title, and now it's released on Blu-ray on Europe and Australia. I have no idea why they did that, but maybe it's something about it. Maybe they couldn't bother to buy it on a PlayStation Network. So yeah, only US users can only play this game on the PlayStation Network. Now, in my opinion, this game felt more like a downloadable content to tool destruction because the game takes like 4 to 5 hours to actually beat. And I'm kind of disappointed that the game is a little too short. I think they should put more effort to this game because it's way too short. And yeah, it's $14 here. But yeah, the game takes place after the events of Tool Destruction, obviously. And this game is all about the search for Clank. Where is he, and where they can find him and stuff. There's this villain called Captain Slag, who is also a villain in Tool Destruction. They believe that he died, and he's still alive, and they wanted to find clues about Captain Darkwater. He was killed by Slag, obviously, and they want the quest to find Clank. They have to go past those undead robots and pirate robots, and then they met Rusty Pete, and he got this stick red thing that Slag's head is on, and then later on, they put Rusty Pete betrayed Ratchet. And Captain Darkwater is alive, only with Slag's head. And then later on, they decided to destroy the world or the universe, yada yada yada. And then finally, Ratchet and Tailwind come across Captain Darkwater's Slag, and Ratchet has no choice to fight him. And after they defeat him, they got the crystal, and they go back to Hulafar Island and search where Clank is. And there's an amazing plot twist that surprised me off. At the ending, spoiler alert, it shows that Dr. Nefarious is the one who kidnapped Clank. Yes, Dr. Nefarious is back, and now he is evil than ever. So yeah, Quest for Booty plays exactly like Tool Destruction. There's not much of a difference. The weapons are the same, and the concept is the same. The only difference is in Quest for Booty, Ratchet has a new armor and this new wrench that actually can bring him to it. And this wrench is pretty interesting, but yeah, the game is short, but it has a lot of great exploration, which I'm impressed. The graphics are still amazing, especially Hulafar Island. In my opinion, I find this game better than Size Matters. Okay, you're probably gonna get mad because this game is shorter than that. Because in my opinion, the reason why Quest for Booty is better than Size Matters because Quest for Booty has more exploration than Size Matters itself. Because Size Matters barely has any explorations. It's kind of boring. I know in some parts in Size Matters have exploration if we are able to find titanium bolts, but still this game does have better exploration than that game. Oh yeah, and one interesting thing, there's an optional if you actually can save Talon from the Morrow Curvins, or you can just go away from her, and that's this little scene that, Reggie, why are you leaving me behind? That's hilarious because there's something optional it can do. That's the first time in the series they can do that. Why didn't Insomniac do more of that, But who knows? Probably they will do that in future games. So, speaking of future games, here's the last of the future trilogy, A Crack in Time. Oh man, this game is also awesome. Now, the game takes place after the events of Quest for Booty. So, Ratchet is not this time with Talon, but it goes with Quark. I have no idea why he ditched Talon there, but oh well. Maybe it's too dangerous for her, but, Ratchet has no... And suddenly out of nowhere, he found his armor. It's not explained how he got it, but maybe in future titles they will finally explain how he got that thing. Now, now we know that Dr. Nefarious is all behind this, so he became the main villain of this series again. Hooray! They finally come across the new galaxy, and they cannot bypass. They come across this laser thing. Now, this is the first. Now, okay, now you might consider this in the second series that Clank is the first play. At the beginning of the game, Clank is the playable character instead of Ratchet. But yeah, but this is the first time the Ratchet and Clank, not spin-off. So this is the first time in the main series Clank is the first character playable in any other of the series, the main series. So yeah, you first play as Clank and find out that Dr. Nefarious sent him to the Great Clock, aka Clank's home. Um, the thing I talk about the Clank soul is not made in the factory. His soul was created in the Great Clock, and it was created by his father called Orvis. Now you might consider weird how can a creature thing can be a father of a robot? Well, he created his soul, but his full body render was created in the factory. So yeah, that's how Clank was created, and it's never. But one thing I don't get, why they never mentioned Planet Core 2 here? I mean, like, it makes no sense, because if Orvis created his soul, then he should mention that the only way to build his body render is to be able to bring it to a factory, but it's nowhere mentioned in this game. I don't get this. It would have been cool to have a little reference of the first game. They did reference some of the past games, so why not the first? Well, whatever. Now, Dr. Nefarious is up to no good again and wants to go, use the Great Clock as a time machine to be able to be the ruler of the entire universe once again. And, it's up to Ratchet and Clank. Now, this time not only up to Ratchet and Clank, Ratchet meets another Lombax. Yes, he was surprised. He met another Lombax is alive, named Alistair Azimuth. He and Azimuth is up to stop Nefarious once and for all. And one thing surprising that, Alistair Azimuth wants to use the clock to, get things back together, that Ratchet goes back to his father and, all this war never happened. But you know what? Later in the game, Ratchet rejected.
Okay, so I hope this is the final part of the discussion video. Yeah, so this is recorded like 2 months later after I did the last part, and that was in February. So, yeah, my gaming collection is not here because I only have a Crack in Time because I haven't finished this one, telling the story of this one yet. So, where was I? So, Alistair Azimuth wants, to create Back in Time. But suddenly Ratchet rejected. And so, Alistair became incredibly, insane. So, why are you not helping me, Ratchet? I believe in you, and something like, no, not like believe in you and stuff. And, the most surprising part about this game is that Alistair kills Ratchet. And I know many fans and I, pretty much many fans, were shocked at that moment that, well, holy shit, did he just kill Ratchet? I mean, I was so freaking wow, I cannot freaking believe this. That they just, Ratchet just got killed on screen, and that was so freaking shocking. I mean, that was really shocking. Clank was stoned, wow, this is the most unexpected scene in the entire series, and yeah, that was shocking. I mean, I thought, is this really the ending of the game? Later on, of course, you start playing as Clank, and you have to go back in time to save Ratchet. In that cutscene, the plumber said something about 6 minutes, and yeah, the plumber is also in this game, but in Clank's memory banks. So Clank flipped the time machine thingamajig, or the clock, and so he went back in time and saved Ratchet's life. Then Ratchet became son, I'm disappointed. Okay, yeah, it's kind of weird to call him son, but it was like some sort of like that. But later on, you're forced to fight Alistair Azimuth, and he is the real final boss. I'm not counting Lord Borsalon's third place because that's more like a bonus boss, because I didn't count that as a final boss because that takes place before Ratchet actually fighting Nefarious. So Alistair Azimuth is the real final boss in the game, in my opinion. So you fight off Alistair, and some others surprised that Alistair sacrificed his life to save the clock. and Ratchet and Clank say goodbye to together. But surprisingly, Clank said, he didn't want to do this. He still wants to go on adventures with Ratchet, and so Clank ran to the ship before Ratchet, leaves, and then jumps in the ship. And Ratchet was surprised that he wasn't cracking a smile, and Clank too. So, and the duo back together, and fly off and awaiting for their new adventures. Wow, this game is fantastic. I really love it. I mean, like, this game and Tool Structure, these are fantastic games. Now, I've heard that, a few people say that, the PS2 titles are still a lot better than the PS3 ones. From some points, I do agree, but most of it not, because the future series shows that, the Ratchet series needs something new. I mean, if they keep the same thing like in the classics, then it will be freaking boring as hell. I mean, seriously. And Sonic Games wanted to do something new for the series, and it's needed. Just like franchises like Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, Mario has been changed throughout, but still use the same formula, kind of. But give something new, and Sonic did the same thing. So, series like Ratchet and Clank need something new as well. But you don't need to change it too much like what Activision did with Spyro and Crash. No, not like that. That is so abysmal. But changes like this. If they're gonna change something, I'm okay with that. But it better not suck. Mostly when video game franchises started to change, it always started to suck. Not mostly, but at some points, like remember, like with Sonic, there's this next gen Sonic game. They want to do something new with Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, and that turned out to be an abysmal game. And later on, Sega knows from their mistakes, and then made the series better. But we're not gonna talk about that franchise. We're gonna talk about the duo, Ratchet and Clank. So yeah, the weapons are also from Tool Structure, and some of the weapons actually references one of the past weapons of the series. And they have some few new weapons like the what's it called again? The Sonic Emulator? No, the Sonic Eruptor. Yeah, Mr. Zircon is in this game, and many other stuff. And yeah, and credit guy. Yes, I know I didn't talk that much about Dr. Nefarious' return. How did he return? Well, the asteroid crashed on planet Xenophar, and he went to the other galaxy. So, yeah, I really just want to make this video quick. I know there's more to talk about, but I'm getting sick of making these discussion videos for now because I wanted to go off from the next one. So that's why I'm not going to show footage of part 3 and 4 of the gameplay, but I will do storytelling now. So, now we're done with the future trilogy. It's time to go on with that new era. So, it's time to talk about All for One. Well, it looks like the Ratchet series gone shitty because it has 4-player co-op. Yeah. Ratchet and Clank All for One, released in October 2011. I forgot the day it was released. So, yeah. And is it the worst Ratchet game ever made? Well, in my opinion, it's the worst Ratchet game from the games that Insomniac Games are made, but definitely not the worst Ratchet game ever made. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about the story, but you know what? I'm not gonna talk about anything about it. I'm only gonna talk about the simple story. So, Ratchet and Clank, take another break, like they did in Size Matters, from saving the galaxy for now. And they're gonna visit Captain Quark, or Copernicus President Quark. So they meet up with Quark, and then suddenly Nefarious is still alive, and there were rumors, is Nefarious really dead at the events of A Crack in Time? They first there was the interview, then that event. So Nefarious, however, encounters Ratchet, Clank, and Quark, and say that he wants revenge or something. And then he wakes up some sort of beast called the Sagroot, and the Sagroot is attacking Luminopolis, and it's up to Ratchet, Clank, Quark, and Nefarious to stop it. But suddenly the four got kidnapped, and then they're forced to work each other to survive. That's it. That's the story. Now, okay, there's more to talk about. The relationship between Quark and Nefarious were interesting in this game due to some cutscenes. And, Ratchet and Clank were like, why are we working with these guys? They find clues about something. And to be honest, nothing about this game has anything to do with the main series. No single reference or flashback, something about the past. So, yeah, there's a few little references. At least Giant Clank has returned since like a long time since Secret Agent Clanky was there. He wasn't even in the future series, but yet he is in All for One. So hinted that Giant Clank will be in the next Ratchet and Clank game. And this is the first Ratchet game to have multiplayer since Dadlocked or Size Matters. Wow, I mean, what took Insomniac Games so long for putting multiplayer in the series? I mean, many fans were so hoping for multiplayer to be in a cracking time. Instead, we got some sort of leaderboards thing, and then finally, in All for One, we get a proper multiplayer. Well, not really the multiplayer expect to be, like arena battles. It's just co-op multiplayer online. Yeah, it's pretty disappointing that it doesn't have arenas. I really wish it does have it, but yeah, whatever. So the game ended with some sort of beast or some sort wants to destroy the planet, and this story is freaking forgettable. I mean, it's nothing like the amazing stories like in the other games. It stinks. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's how the story is. I mean, I really couldn't bother to finish it, but forget the story. You get the idea if you do. So yeah, the gameplay is still like the old classics, but not only you can't play as Ratchet and Clank, you also can play as Quark. And well, actually, you already play as Quark in past two games, but this gameplay experience just like Ratchet right now. And this is the first time in the series you play as Dr. Nefarious, and many Nefarious fans were so stoked. Holy shit, we get to play as Nefarious. That is so badass. It's all right. Co-op play. The skins are hilarious. They're still as skins. The style's still the same, but there's a few differences, like like co-op abilities, like these gimmicks, like jetpacks and a little ball. You turn into a ball thing, and the Rhino 6 proto suit, which is just a giant suit that you just get to shoot things, and giant freaking missiles. That's the Rhino 6. And Clank's gameplay is actually like Ratchet, so we do get some Secret Agent Clank good gameplay in this. And I'm surprised to say this, but Clank's gameplay in All for One is so much better than in A Crack in Time. I mean, I'm shocked because Clank can bring heavy weapons now because, just because the addition of the weapons makes Clank gameplay better in All for One. But Clank cannot glide in that game, which is kind of stupid for not having characters to be able to glide. I mean, Ratchet has his hover boots, Clank has his telepack, Quark has some sort of jet boots, and Nefarious has jet boots, so yeah. So that was All for One. I'm not going to bother to say more because I wanted to end this video now. So, yeah. And now it's time for the epilogue. So, Ratchet and Clank is a fantastic game series, and I hope, for how long, I don't know, God knows how long the series is going to go, but Insomniac Games still care about the series. We're going to still move on with Ratchet and Clank. And thank you so much for the HD collection, Insomniac. Can't wait until May 16th. And, happy 10th anniversary, Ratchet and Clank. So, you will be expecting to see the top 10 best Ratchet and Clank levels in the entire series. So, more 10th anniversary videos coming up. So, I'll thank everyone, the crew of Insomniac Games, Ted Price, James Stevenson, and the rest. I salute you from a Ratchet and Clank fan. So, let's make this a perfect year for Ratchet and Clank for their anniversary. So, for the final message, this is Super Pro 6, UI 33.